Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be speaking to all of you through this medium. Leadership with love is a quote that defines me as a person. My goal in life is to create an army of leaders who will go on to achieve personal and professional success. My name is Ashok Ramachandran. I am the CEO and president of Schindler India. It's a very fascinating times that we're living. And when we talk about what makes an excellent CEO or an excellent C-suite leader, I want to share from my 12 years of experience running organizations in 4 different countries. The basics always remains the same, but what keeps things moving and makes you successful is to always be agile in any topic that we are handling. So what's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about a successful CEO brand? I think an overused word, but let me say a very, very important word is corporate strategy. When we talk about corporate strategy, it does not mean that you have to come up with something totally innovative, totally out of the world, out of the box. A lot of times, a good corporate strategy is one that is very simple to understand and one that is not having too many things to do. Keeping it simple and minimalistic is very challenging, but that's the role of a CEO to find those 3 or 4 critical strategic initiatives that can help take the organization to another level of success in spite of all the chaos that runs behind you. And how do you do that? Of course, you have to look at the Pestel's or Michael Porter's 5 forces, external environment, as the first outside in perspective. I think a lot of companies get stuck into the inside out perspective always, and they're always solving internal problems. But you would never know a looming threat from outside, like today, what's happening with the war in Ukraine, or what happened with COVID, or what can happen with changes in political system, technological changes, social changes. So one of the things I do is every month I conduct a strategy meeting with my team, and we always start our meeting with this 5 forces that can impact the organization and how are these going and how are we tackling them. Then, of course, the difficult part and what 85% companies fail is execution. Most companies have fantastic strategies. How many of them can execute it really well? Almost only 15-20%. So my suggestion to you, if you're confused about should I have a strong strategy and how do I go about it, build a very simple 2 or 3 initiatives kind of strategy that can cover growth, profitability, people, and product from a quality perspective. And then be super aggressive in execution. Having regular, weekly, monthly, fortnightly, or yearly reviews on those key strategic initiatives. Keep one person responsible for each of it, who can drive and who can be fully responsible and accountable to bring the success of each of those initiatives. Through that, I'm sure you will have a lot of success in driving a corporate strategy that's very much forward-looking, at the same time achievable as well. Cut. The next thing that has really changed our perspective, especially post-pandemic, is the working culture. I would call it overall as the organizational culture. And this comes about from being very agile with how we drive the workforce. Do we need to have all work from home, all work from office, or a hybrid? My pick is a hybrid model. I think no one size fits all, depending on roles. If you have COE-based roles, Center of Excellence roles, if you have roles that can be functioned from anywhere, it's not a bad idea to have an outsourced team, either centrally located or working from home. Also brings in a lot of efficiency improvements, quality improvements, brings better value to customer, and of course, as a collateral positive impact, brings you a lot of financial savings as well. I think if we start cutting corners and trying to be very rigid about this, it will not help. Any industry, any company, unless you are a hardcore manufacturing only, where you probably need the workers to be there, but for any other companies, hybrid will work really well. I like the in-person interactions because you can't drive a company culture through a digital medium. You have to touch and feel people, feel their emotions, feel their ideas, get the innovative thought processes flowing. And all this can happen if you have the right mix of in-person and virtual teams sitting and helping you. When you talk about hybrid work culture, it's not just about people working from office or homes. It's also about thought processes. When you have a hybrid thought process, you're not rigid. You're open to new ideas. You welcome innovations. You welcome challenges. And I strongly encourage everyone to be bold, to drive these changes, take some risks. No CEO has been successful without taking adequate risks. And I hope each one of you will not fail from doing that as well. Last but not the least is my favorite, people. I think every CEO is a CHRO in disguise. We all say that people is the biggest investment we make, is the biggest asset we have in the company. But do we really mean it? How many of us in a CEO's role spend time on people or people related topic as a maximum amount of time spent in your total day? I spend about 50% of my time on people and people related topics. You can have a great strategy, but you can't execute it without having the best people. And the best people are not just falling into your laps. You have to identify them. You have to hire them. One simple tip I follow from a hiring perspective is the best people are not looking for jobs. You have to go and hunt them and find them. They are passive candidates. They're available on LinkedIn. They're available on a flight sitting next to you. They're available in networking events. They're not always available in Naukri.com looking for jobs. So engage yourself with people. Go and find those gems, the diamonds. Bring them on board in your company. Pay them well. Take the money worry out of their heads. And of course, engage them very, very closely. The second point, which I follow as well, is regular connect with all levels of the organization. If you are only listening to your immediate team, you are preparing yourself to fail. Your immediate team will tell you what you want to hear. So what I do is, whenever I visit an office, I walk around the floor talking to everyone else, right from the person serving coffee and tea to that person heading that organization in the particular operation. Try to find what is the culture. Can you smell the culture? How do people interact with each other? Are they having a laugh? Do they work together or work in silos? Do they complain to you when they see you, or they also find good things to share with you? These are small things that you can do to drive a better engagement in the organization. The third and final thing about people is a little bit about self-reflection, 360 feedback. How many C-suite people ask for feedback from their immediate teams? When was the last time you went and asked your team member, hey, what is it I can do one thing even better? Are you brave enough to accept their feedback? Are you brave enough to thank them for giving you this gold as a gift, which is called feedback? And are you working on them, on the feedbacks, to make yourself a better person? I think these three things may sound very simple, may sound very mundane, but trust me, execution of them is very scarcely seen. Let me know how you go with these thoughts I've shared with you. Which ones resonate with you? Thank you so much for listening to me. Till I speak to you all next time, stay fit, stay positive, keep chasing obscene success. Thank you very much.